Hello friends, this is Pavitra this side joining you from Bangalore again. So I had taken a bit of a break from making videos, book related videos due to some of my personal work. So right now I have been back with some of the books that I had read in the last 2 to 3 months. I had a great reading time. I'll just walk you through all the books that I read in the last few months. So starting off with it, I had read this book quite recently, which is Such Is Her Life by this author called Richa Agarwal Goel. Now, this particular author, she is my college senior, my MBA college senior from Loyola Institute of Business Administration. And this book that she has written is about a woman's life and what are the hardships that she has to go through during the course of her life. And it's very easy and simple to read because it's basically these short snippets. Yeah, just 4 to 5 lines everywhere, and it's very nice. I just enjoyed reading this particular book. In fact, some of what she has said, I just liked it and I have marked it over here. So this is about it. So another book that I read quite recently is A Coat of Thorns and Roses, ECOTAR it's called, that's the abbreviation, by the author Sarah J. Maas. Now, she has written 4 books so far, okay, and this is the first book in the series. It's a retelling of Beauty and the Beast. I just loved this book. So it's basically fantasy fiction, and I just loved how the characters were described, how the plot has evolved. It's very much different from the original book, that is Beauty and the Beast, in terms of a lot of things. But I just loved reading it, and I happened to finish this book in a week's time. A lot of twists and turns in this entire book, and I'm sure you will also love reading it. It also consists of a certain set of challenges for the protagonist and how she overcomes all those challenges and all of it. Yeah. So that's ECOTAR, A Coat of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. Yeah. So another book that I read is this one, Pajamas Are Forgiving, by this author Twinkle Khanna. Now this is the 3rd book that she has written. I've read the earlier books of hers, which is Mrs. Funny Bones and The Legend of Lakshmi Prasad. I loved Mrs. Funny Bones, but I did not enjoy The Legend of Lakshmi Prasad that much. Pajamas Are Forgiving was also average for me. It's about this lady who actually, who's separated from her husband and who's got stressful life, and she comes to this ashram in Kerala, and how she tries to cope up with whatever has happened in her life or she's going through. And it's like a regular routine for her. Every year she comes there for some sort of soul cleansing experience, and there she actually comes across her ex-husband, and what happens there is what this book is all about. Yeah, Pajamas Are Forgiving by Twinkle Khanna. The next one that I read is 3000 Stitches by this author Sudha Murthy. Sudha Murthy is the wife of the famous businessman, that is Narayana Murthy, who's the co-founder of Infosys. Now this particular book, she's authored many books, and I love all her books. Now in this particular book, it's primarily non-fiction. She writes about her real life experiences, and it's all like short chapters, right from how she founded that her foundation, Infosys Foundation, and what are the hardships that she has to go through, her experiences of travels, and what are the kind of people that she meets every day. It's very interesting to know it. The language is quite simple, and the stories are absolutely fantastic. I suggest you to pick up this book. I just loved it. Yeah, 3000 Stitches by Sudha. Yeah. So the next one that I read is Love a Little Stronger by Preeti Shenoy. Now I've read a lot of books by Preeti Shenoy, Life Is What You Make It, The Secret Wish List, and It Happens for a Reason. It's All in the Planet. This particular book has short stories of Preeti Shenoy's life, as in what are the experiences that she goes through on a daily basis. There was another book called 34 Bubblegums and Candies that she had published sometime back, maybe around 10 years back. Basically that was the 34 blogs that she had shortlisted from all the blogs that she had written, and it got published as a book. But then she thought that it's better to rewrite that book and change it a little bit and then republish it, and that's being published in the name of Love a Little Stronger. I just love the stories, very short stories of her daily life. So about her father, about her kids, about her family, about her friends, and some of the funny incidents. I just loved and enjoyed reading this particular book. Yeah, Love a Little Stronger by Preeti Shenoy. Okay, the next book that I read again by Preeti Shenoy is this particular book, that is 100 Little Flames by her. Now this particular book is about two characters, that is Ayan, who's a young chap who's been working in Pune and suddenly loses his job, and he comes to his hometown in Kerala, which is called as Pungavanam, and spends some time with his grandfather. So how there is a bond between the grandfather and him, how that bond evolves, and what are the things that Ayan does for his grandfather, and how grandfather evolves to be the true protagonist of this particular story is what it is all about. I just thoroughly enjoyed. I mean, the way Preeti has described the the culture, the slang that has been used in Kerala. She is half Keralite, so she's very well versed with the slangs or the local phrases that they use. It has come out really well. The next one that I read is this particular book, that is Stay Hungry, Stay Foolish by Rashmi Bansal. If you remember, one of my reading goals this particular year was to read a non-fiction book, primarily revolving around business. So this is about Rashmi Bansal actually writes about entrepreneurial stories. So this is about 25 people or 25 entrepreneurs who studied at the prestigious Management Institute of IMA, which is Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad. They chose to go on their entrepreneurial journey instead of climbing the corporate ladder. So that's about this book, 25 people, how they have been quite different in terms of their approach towards professional life, and how they have had to sacrifice their personal life, but how they have been full of hunger, and what they have done to achieve their dreams and how big they are right now. So Rashmi Bansal has actually written many other books in terms of social entrepreneurship, in terms of entrepreneurship by women. In all of it, some 5-6 books she has written, and she herself is an entrepreneur. I thoroughly enjoyed this book. For anybody who's looking to go on to the entrepreneurial journey, this book would be quite motivating. Yeah, so that's Stay Hungry, Stay Foolish by Rashmi Bansal. Now the next book that I read was this one, which is Sea Prayer by this author Khalid Hosseini. This book is actually a graphic novel. If you had seen my video on my reading goals for this particular year, one of the goals was to read a graphic novel. I will link that up down below for you. That is my video on reading goals for this particular year. This book is about a father and a son. Now see. Okay. Now you can see what I mean by graphic novel. There are illustrations everywhere. The illustrations are by this author called by Dan Williams. Khalid Hosseini is the author. Now those are the illustrations, and this is the text that is written by Khalid Hosseini. This particular novel actually describes what a father is feeling, and he's telling his son as to how life was in this particular city in Homs and what it has come out to be. They have been witnessing a lot of bombings going on, but how life was earlier, and they are waiting for someone to rescue them. He's waiting at the beach, and they're waiting for some vessel, some ship to come and rescue them in search of a new life they are right now. So what are his emotions? What is it that he's telling his son is all this book is about. Yeah, so that's Sea Prayer by Khalid Hosseini for you. So that's about it, guys. The list of books that I read in the last 2 to 3 months. I've had great reading months in the past, and there is one more month to go, and I'm hoping that I will be able to read about 4 to 5 books before this year ends. Yeah. So that's about it, guys. I'll be back pretty soon with a book talk session. If you've liked this video, then please like it, and if you've read any of these books, then please feel free to comment on the comment section, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Yeah.